Age.
I thought that decision from Marais Erasmus early on off Martin Gupta was a fantastic decision, because everything looked right about that court behind, and he had the coolness, calmness on the big stage. I think he's the preeminent umpire in world cricket right now.
You know, I still feel, Michael and Ian and viewers, wherever you are in the world, that Archer can be fuller. I know he's a hit-to-deck bowler, and I have no problems with him pushing the batsman back. This is what he's done so far. And particularly to Williamson and to Nicholls, I believe he can go to the front edge of that good length or slightly in the slot occasionally and bring the stumps into play. Nothing has hit the stumps so far. So that's an adjustment that Owen Morgan can go to him and suggest as well.
You can't take the Caribbean out of the man, Bish.
Just let him go fuller, Michael. I think one of the great things about the great bowlers, and I'm not suggesting where Archer is right now, he's a fantastic talent that he has to, and he will understand the conditions. And right now, today, I think while the ball is still hard, he can go a little fuller.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But maybe a little bit of bat in there. Henry Nicholls has held the arm up. Whether to say to Kane Williamson, no run.
He gets a bit more experience at bowling at Lords. I think Archer is going to be a wonderful bowler from the end he's bowling at now. That's where what you'd call the line bowlers bowl. He's not a swing bowler, Archer. He's a line bowler. He gets very tight to the stumps. Think of another great bowler of yesteryear, Glenn McGrath, who did exactly the same thing and had a fabulous record here. Getting in tight, making the batsman play, using the slope a little either way. 33 for 1.
PTCL Unlimited Internet, Digital Quality TV या Crystal Clear Voice Quality टेलीफोन कनेक्शन लगवाएं और इंस्टॉलेशन चार्जेस पर 40% डिस्काउंट हासिल करें।
.33 for 1 after 10. So we move now, of course, into the second power play for Damasina. So England can just power play, touch more defensive if they want to. Put out a deep cover already. I would have given that myself to England. New Zealand winning the toss, wanting to bat, and them being 33 for 1 after 10.
The only thing I would say is that you can lose a game in the opening spell, can't you? The way India were against New Zealand in that semi-final. Way Australia were against England in the other semi-final. Wickets tumbling early in the first 10 overs. You can lose a game in that period, particularly on this kind of a morning.
He looks happy about Australia not being here, doesn't he? Good old Murph. Wouldn't be the same without him. Well, New Zealand won't be too worried at the moment that the run rate isn't what they want it to be, because they know that having played in that semi-final, they can scrap and defend and sum up the situation readily. I believe I get your point, Michael, about not losing 2 or 3, but I still think England will be the happier right now. Gorgeous. Had a lot of fielders this morning, New Zealand, but they found a gap there, Nicholls.
There hasn't been much loose from Woakes this morning. First ball was very wide, maybe a hint of nerves, but he's been right on the money since then. This one, though, it's a nice one to get for a left-hander. And Nicholls got it away.
It's changed the field as well. Man at the deep point boundary. There he is.
There's been plenty of action in the first 10 overs. 1 or 2 magnificent deliveries, a great decision, a great review.
Line, impacting line, and missing the wicket.
Guptill ramping a 6 and then getting down the other end and being trapped in front. He did review it. New Zealand lost it.
Set the scene for us in New Zealand, Smithy. It's late in the evening, isn't it, down there now?
How about 25 to 11?
Not quite closing time yet.
No. Why do you do everything around closing time, Michael? No, I understand. They've just kept everything open. They're going for it. Good luck to them. 40 for 1.
Subscribe to Netflix through PTCL and enjoy hassle-free payment through your monthly PTCL bill. To subscribe, dial 1218 now.
Done that a lot this morning. Henry Nicholls looked to hit through the onside and wrapped on the thigh, the pad high. He's a battler though. He doesn't give it away. Scores very, as you call them, tough test runs. Mentally, he's very strong. Just gets that far enough in front to be safe and to get 2 more.
He seems happier when he can sit on the back foot. We saw him get a cut shot away in the last over from Woakes that went to the fence, and this one was short again from Plunkett, and he was looking to sit back and pull through the leg side. He's looked less certain when, as Ian Bishop has implored the bowlers to do, they've been on the fuller side.
Perhaps if you're Plunkett, and I thought in the last over from Woakes to him as well, that you mentioned on the leg stump, he's looking to play it quite square when it's back of a length. I think you have to find out if you bowl it fuller on middle stump whether he will close the face of the bat as significantly as he's doing as well.
It's 2 more. Quite a productive over for New Zealand, this one. The first from Plunkett.
आप भी जीते ढेर सारे इनामात डाबर हाजमुला के साथ। अपनी आवाज में कमेंट्री की वीडियो करें अपलोड और हो जाएं शामिल लकी ड्रॉ में।
100% तहफ्फुज़ की जमानत के साथ फास्ट केबल्स नजर आए।
West Indian fans, of course. Indian fans all around the joint. Sri Lanka have a presence. It's a great feel. Of course, the Australians. Oh, the neutrals. Who do you think the neutrals are going for?
I've done the majority of this tournament by train and bumped into some people who've come from extraordinary places to be here. Lots of Indian fans in particular. Bumped into a surgeon from California and somebody who sells oil in Indore, and spent inordinate amounts of money to come and watch this tournament and had a good time here in England. It's been one of the glories of the tournament, really. The nature of the crowds and the way that every team has had considerable support.
Over number 7 for Chris Woakes. He won't bowl him out, Morgan, but he's happy to continue with him because he's been tight and he's been threatening. Michael Clark's noticed something.
Yeah, morning guys. Just again been really impressed with New Zealand trying things. You look at Marty Guptill. I know he didn't get the runs again today he wanted, but look at he's trying to mix the length up of Chris Woakes. Chris Woakes at the moment's hitting that consistent area, getting a little bit of movement, so New Zealand are not sitting there and waiting for something to happen. They're trying to find a way. Unfortunately for New Zealand, this was the dismissal. He's back in his crease, but I think that's the right approach. When there's a little bit of movement, you just got to try and mix that length up from the bowler. Woakes at the moment, one of his great disciplines is that accuracy, and I think that's what New Zealand need to keep trying to look to find a way to make him change his game.
Thanks, Michael, yeah. Just for a moment, people thought it might be Martin Guptill's day. That'll be wide. Saw glimpses of straight drive, a ramped 6, and just a little bit of luck. A couple of occasions, thought the worm might have turned, but no. That one that trapped him on the crease certainly wasn't going over it. I don't think it was a great review, to be fair. They might rue that if one of the other top line players gets a bad decision, a la Jason Roy just the other day. Again, up the hill.
Yes, on that review from Guptill, I think initially Guptill was happy to go, and he was dissuaded or persuaded to review by his partner Henry Nicholls. There's that movement up the hill to Williamson from Woakes. It makes him very threatening because you're always thinking about the away swinger.
Brilliant. Great reactions, Chris Woakes, in his follow through. He's a real athlete. So Taylor, Drew next, then Tom Latham, Neesham, de Grandhomme and Santner, the genuine all-rounders in the group, and the three bowlers who have had an extremely good tournament, all three of them. And still, of course, have Stokes and Mark Wood, and then Adil Rashid as frontline bowlers. Plenty of options for Owen Morgan.
Straight drive from Williamson, the previous ball. I was just watching Henry Nicholls at the non-striker's end, diving back into his crease. If you remember that match up at Durham, the group stage game between England and New Zealand, and Williamson was run out at the non-striker's end. In his pre-match press conference, Owen Morgan was asked, what weaknesses does Kane Williamson have? And all he could come up with was his backing up.
England are bowling extremely well to him today. 13 overs gone.
PTCL Unlimited Internet, Digital Quality TV या Crystal Clear Voice Quality Telephone Connection लगवाएं और इंस्टॉलेशन चार्जेस पर 40% डिस्काउंट हासिल करें।
A bit of support for New Zealand in the crowd, but they're outnumbered. Isha Gurin alongside me, and Nasser Hussain has spotted something.
Yeah, just the difference between Williamson and Guptill, and look at the strike points of Williamson and how late he plays the ball. And for any of you dads, mums or dads out there that want to take your boy or girl out and give them some throwdowns, how do you play the ball late? How do you know you're playing the ball late? Watch where the ball lands every time Williamson blocks. It lands right by his feet. It doesn't go anywhere. That's how you know you're playing late. It's a good drill to do. Throw the ball, play it right underneath you, and that's why he's such a star player.
Perfect, Nasser, thank you.
Good morning to you, Dooley. Good morning to everyone watching in anticipation of what's about to unfold. An incredible buzz and excitement here at the home of cricket. England against New Zealand. At the end of it, there's going to be a new Men's World Cup champion. Just talking about Williamson, 3 from 23 deliveries, his strike rate just 13, but that won't matter to him. He is integral to this New Zealand side as the 50 comes up. Generally, when he's getting himself in, he's going on to the big scores, and he's holding this innings together and he's pacing it as he did in the semi-final. Knew exactly what New Zealand needed on that surface. He had the ability to read the conditions. Plenty of New Zealand support in. very watchful start early on for Williamson. But now you just see him looking to play a few more shots. It's pretty much come in the first 10 in every game this tournament. He's batted through to the 30th over mark.
That's in the gap. And good enough to pick up a boundary up the hill for Nicholls to finish off the 14th, 55 for 1.
Yeah, the change of angle coming around the wicket and just straying in line. It just keeps carry on. It's help yourself stuff for Nicholls. He loves it in the slot there. It's against the gradient of the slope, but he gets the timing and he finds the gap.
Subscribe to Netflix through PTCL and enjoy hassle-free payment through your monthly PTCL bill. To subscribe, dial 1218 now.
Just summing up the conditions, summing up the situation of the match. Early wicket loss to Martin Guptill. He just has the ability to increase his strike rate. I dislike the words catch up because you never catch up on what's gone by. You can increase your strike rate. A little bit of swing from Wood into the attack.
Yeah, bowls with lots of pace, Mark Wood. Morgan has the luxury of having Jofra Archer and Mark Wood in his lineup. And we saw this against Australia, actually. He was pitching the ball up, but getting loads of swing, and he just struggled with his radar initially. If he can just straighten things up, of course, he's got the slope as well to help him. It's going from right to left as you look at it. If he can just straighten things up to Williamson, that is a brilliant length to bowl.
Yeah, a little bit harsh too. First ball of a spell. You'd like to think the umpire just give you one. Just give you a little bit of leeway. Again, movement.
Says the bowler. And actually, looking at this innings, I did wonder. We saw in the last match here that was played for England against Australia, they didn't necessarily get their lengths right, Jofra Archer and Chris Woakes. Chris Woakes has been brilliant, but Jofra has a natural length, which is back of a length, and I just wondered whether Mark Wood might have been a good option to open up with that swing that he gets, that length that he bowls.
Oh, nice. It's been a good start. Wide first up. He's an interesting character, Mark Wood. Change in his run-up. He put his body through an immense amount of strain and pressure, I thought, off that very short run-up that he used for a long time. But he just looks far better rhythmically with this longer run-up. And what does he want to do? All he wants to do, Mark Wood, is bowl fast.
What I'm thinking is, don't mess up. Run like the wind and bowl like the wind and see how it goes.
It's so simple, isn't it? Run like the wind, bowl like the wind.
It reminds me a bit of Shoaib Akhtar, isn't it? He said the same thing when he bowled for Pakistan. Run fast and bowl fast. It's a good start for New Zealand.
As much as he talks about that, he's trying to channel his line and length here, Mark Wood. He's just bowled one a little bit full and now just a tad short. He just needs to find somewhere in between. If he can get that right and perfect, then he's right in business.
They were a bit wide to Williamson as well in early part of his innings. Chris Woakes has bowled exceptionally well this World Cup. Just was a bit wide to Kane Williamson, allowed him to leave the ball outside the off stump. New Zealand play a lot of dot deliveries, as Simon Dole must have pointed out at some stage in this competition. And they managed to put a score. They did against India, 240. They defended it well. They will be looking to get 260, 265 against this England side. It's a World Cup final, so add 20 runs to it when you chase. A brave decision up at the toss. Well, Williamson said, we'll put runs up on the board. If you want to win the World Cup at your home ground, chase it and win it.
And it comes down to what is that score, Saurav. He was so good at assessing that pitch in Manchester. Knew that 240, 250 would put New Zealand in the game. Wasn't always going to be a winning score necessarily, but it would put them in the game, give them an opportunity. I think this is slightly better.
I believe they'll get a bit more help than they got in Manchester. Pacey just down the leg stump, 145 kilometers an hour. He'll have to bowl it again. Just get a feeling New Zealand will get a bit more help from this surface than they did in Manchester. They bowled exceptionally well against India. There was talks after the game finished that the overnight rain just spiced up the wicket a bit of movement for Bolt and Matt Henry up front. But I think it was more of good bowling than the wicket in Manchester. This is going to be different.
Yeah, and they've left grass on the surface. I think the ground staff were worried about it being too dry, and we've seen that in previous games at Lord's throughout this World Cup. Glove on that, and good enough for 4. Picks one up fine. Kane Williamson ends the 15th over with a boundary, 63 for 1 after 15, and it's time for some drinks here at Lord's.
63 for 1 after 15 overs. Time for the umpires and players to take a Powerade hydration break. A reminder, drinks breaks are for players. Remember to place yourself at the cricket. Visit drinkaware.co.uk for the facts about alcohol.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is from New Zealand, so any New Zealand fans in the house might feel a little bit more at home when he starts playing. This is Nick Morris, really nice to meet you. So let's look at the strongest.
आप भी जीते ढेर सारे इनामात डाबर हाजमुला के साथ। अपनी आवाज में कमेंट्री की वीडियो करें अपलोड और हो जाएं शामिल लकी ड्रॉ में।
100% तहफ्फुज़ की जमानत के साथ फास्ट केबल्स नजर आए।
Drinks here at Lord's, the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup final. New Zealand 63 for 1 throughout this World Cup, looking back at magic moments, and this one from this current World Cup, and part of the reason New Zealand are here in the final. Trent Boult catching Carlos Brathwaite against the West Indies and the last ball of the 49th over.
Down the ground, but fielder underneath. And taken! New Zealand win! The dream is diminished for Carlos Brathwaite. The most agonizing and deflating end to this contest for him.
Yes, a magical 100 for Carlos Brathwaite, but not quite to be. 82 deliveries for that 101. They needed 6 to win. And he was about 2 or 3 feet short. And New Zealand picked up the points and hence enhanced their chances going through to semi-finals and now the final.
Last 5 overs, 6 and over from New Zealand. Once again short. And once again he pulls it to the boundary. Second boundary of Plunkett. The one previous over was flicked on the onside with the delivery which was down the leg side. And this time back of a length.
Stokes has done a calf here. Ben Stokes looks like he's pulled a calf muscle. He's tough, he's a tough character. I think he's done himself a little injury here, Ben Stokes.
We saw him earlier in the tournament when he was batting, having to stretch out his calf. I think that was just cramp at the time. Let's hope